check, check. 1, 2, 3, check, check, check. I lowered your volume.
Why?
Oh, because there was a feedback on it.
Talk?
Check, check. Check, check. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect.
Send me that link for me.
I'm gonna post it in the chat.
Okay, send it to me. Oh, I'll get it from that chat.
Sorry for the delay, everybody. We were fixing the audio.
That's the new link.
Angie just said she's watching. Ready to start? Oh, Angie has the wrong link. I'll text it to her.
I did. I just sent it. Bagel Express. Bagel Express, I think. I had to send you a new one because the audio wasn't working on the other one, so I just resent the other link.
Natasha, can you turn off the lights? Only the front. Yeah, like that. It's hard to see the screen.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for coming out. I will try and be as quick as possible because I know it's 6 o'clock at night. Some of you guys have not made it home. So I appreciate your time, and hopefully you guys will leave here with all your questions answered. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mrs. Delgado. I am in charge of SoPrepTV. No, not for us. The purpose of today's meeting, if you're new to SoPrepTV, is to kind of give you some information as far as what we do throughout the school year, what our goals are for the year, and how you can help us get there. Okay? Can you hear me?
You're good to go?
Audio's good? Okay. Awesome. All right. So just a few of our accomplishments that we've been able to achieve in just 1 year of competing both on the state level and on the national level. We were able to bring home several awards, including our Broadcast Excellence Award, which is over here on this wall. We also won the Sunshine State Award, which means that we got recognized for our monthly show, which is hard to do. And we were the only middle school on the national level that was able to obtain that award. So we are extremely proud of that. And that goes to show you the amount of work that these kids put into the monthly show. And now our morning show that we just kicked off this year as well. So we're super excited for what's to come. Some of your kids might have gone home already and told you that we have officially started our first contest with FSPA, which is a state level. So we have about 2.5 weeks or so to submit some of our work based on prompts that they released. Now on Sunday, they'll release some more prompts, and we'll only have 5 days to turn that around. So the majority of them should have already kind of mentioned it, or will start mentioning to you that we are in full swing. What they're going to be learning if they're part of the class is a little bit of everything. So we're going to try and make them well-rounded journalists, starting with storytelling. They're going to learn how to edit, how to write a script, not just for a broadcast profile piece, but for commentaries, for commercials, for anything that they plan on working, whether it's a PSA or a news story. They're going to learn how to do graphics, both through Canva as well as through After Effects. They're going to learn how to film, how to use the equipment properly, how to be in front of the camera if that's what they want to do, as well as, and what I think is the most important skill, is communication, not only with their team, but with adults as well. So as soon as they start getting into a project where they're going out into the community or even here on campus, they're going to have to learn how to communicate with whoever they're interviewing, which is a great skill for them to learn. If they are not part of the class, they didn't get into the elective but still want to join in their middle school, they will have the opportunity to join the club, which will meet on Wednesdays after school. So we'll meet starting tomorrow from 3 to 5. That way they have a little bit more time to kind of jump in and finish some projects. So our goal is to continue to compete on the national level as well as on the state level. So STN is a student television network, and this is our national platform. Our ultimate goal is to attend Long Beach, California again, where they'll have the opportunity to attend their convention in March. Typically, we'll have different contests that they'll get to participate while they're there. They'll have workshops that they can attend as well. But our biggest contest that we train for before we get there is our Crazy 8, which it's named very appropriately because we have 8 hours to put together an 8-minute show based on a prompt that they released that morning. So they have to learn how to do their research ahead of time, know what's around in the area, try and make connections with people that they may know, so that if the prompt hits, we can try and find those stories quickly. We're able to turn them around, write them, and then start producing them. So that is our ultimate goal. Once we get closer to that date, I will share with you some of the practice dates that we will have prior to going to Long Beach, California. Most of them will be on a Saturday, because obviously it's an 8-hour event. So obviously we're not going to do it during a school day. The last one that we will have, we'll try and do like an in-house field trip like we did last year. And we encourage the parents to jump in and join the craziness with us. Coming up now, we have our Fall Nationals coming up, and we'll have our STN Challenge, which will be in November. So we keep ourselves very busy. So a lot of the projects that we'll do on campus, whether it's for a school function or anything off campus, a lot of those profile pieces and those packages that they put together, we can use and submit towards these platforms. So the great thing about submitting to these platforms, not only on the national level, but also on the state level, is that we're constantly getting feedback for their work. So a lot of times, we'll look at a package and we'll say, well, this is what we could have improved, this is what we can do better. But when an industry professional is giving us feedback and critiquing it, it kind of helps us learn what we need to fix. FSPA already started. We do have Journalism Day coming up November 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. And that's going to be on a Friday. I am working on the logistics of how we're going to get there, because that would be a field trip for the 3rd. And then our fall digitals is what we're working on right now. Quick turns will be released on Sunday. And then all of this information, because there's a lot of dates that are coming at you at once, I went ahead and I posted it already for you on the school website, kind of just like a quick glance. These are all the dates you need to know, so that you can always refer back to them as well. Our requirements to travel. We understand that to travel and to get there, it's an expense. And unfortunately, it's not an expense that, as much as we're going to fundraise here in school, it's impossible for us to be able to fundraise the full amount for all the kids to go. So in an effort to make sure that the kids that are willing to attend, they understand that they have to put in the work so that when they get there, they don't feel overwhelmed and they're prepared. So we did have some summer practices in the summer. Those were the dates that we had. Obviously, our new, incoming 6th graders, or even if you're new to SoPrepTV and you weren't aware of it, obviously you weren't able to attend those. Things like using Canva for graphics, we've already covered in class. So that's something that they all know how to do at this point. If they weren't able to go to the summer events because obviously they didn't know about it, or they just weren't able to because you guys had plans in the summer, they're going to go ahead and they'll have to create a news package on campus. So we'll give them several different opportunities. Obviously, we don't expect them to do it on their own because they're just learning, but we have amazing mentors in our group that were with us last year that can go ahead and kind of embrace them and help them and walk them through it. We have this year, this is a very expensive club, similar to a sport. So because of that, in an effort to kind of alleviate some of the cost and fundraising that we have to do, we are doing an activity fee that will cover for the whole entire year, which is up on the school store. So I'll give you guys a QR code to be able to reference back to that. And then that will be every Wednesday after school from 3 to 5, with the exception of our faculty meetings. Whenever that day is scheduled, then we wouldn't have it that Wednesday. So if this is something that they're interested in and they would like to compete, please let me know. That way we can go ahead and I can help them kind of navigate their way to the requirements that they need. Obviously, we don't want them to waste your time and let alone your money. So you want to make sure that they're invested and they're putting in the work ultimately, because we understand that's a sacrifice on your part as well to send them there. We often have after school filming and weekend filming. So normally what we'll do is I have an awesome room mom of sorts, Miss Cameron in the back. So if you're not part of that group chat, I can go ahead and get you in contact with her so that you can be part of that group. Anytime there's an event that or information that needs to go out, we'll go ahead and post it there. If there's ever a off-campus meeting, I try my best to send this information through Dojo. I know that sometimes it's harder for you guys to either see those messages or kind of look at it. I know text messaging tends to be easier for everybody. So we'll go ahead and we'll try and send that information to you guys as much as possible. To be honest with you, the kids are so good with their phones, which I guess is a good and a bad thing, that they have kind of taken it upon themselves that anytime there is an event off campus, they will form their own groups with the kids that are going to that event so that they're all on the same page. So, which is nice because they're showing that independence and that maturity and the responsibility that they need to be able to attend these events as well. Our STN challenge, have they given the date out for that yet? No.
November 8th, it starts.
So November 8th is our biggest day that we need
Veterans
to
Day
mark our
weekend.
calendars, which is Veterans Day weekend, because that is our first national contest that we go ahead and we compete in. And that's probably the craziest 5 days that we have, because we're limited with the turnaround time to be able to produce and execute. So starting on the 8th, those prompts get released. Normally it's on at night where the prompts get released. We'll schedule a Zoom, we'll all hop on, we'll go over all the prompts, and we'll kind of discuss and brainstorm different ideas so that they're as involved as possible in the storytelling as well. And then on the bottom, you're going to see our STN team practices. So tentatively, if you would like your child to compete, and this is something that you would like to join us in, December 16th, January 20th, and February 10th are the tentative practice dates for those crazy eights. Obviously, if you are committing to being able to go with us to California and traveling, then we would need you to also commit to those days, because it's a team effort. It's not just one person putting everything together. So if one person's out, then it's hard for that team to kind of get a feel for what they're going to experience when they're in California. And then our last one will be to be determined, because we're going to try and see if we can do that in-house as well. All these dates are in like a quick year at a glance for you. That way you can always refer back to it. And then I also created a calendar this year that you can subscribe to, which hopefully will be extremely helpful. So anytime there's a new date that needs to come in, I'll go ahead and post that, so you guys will automatically have access to those dates as well. Fundraising. So we already kicked off fundraising with middle school. We got the pretzel sticks going on. We got bagels going on. There's going to be a lot of fundraising that's going on throughout the year. Our biggest fundraiser is going to launch at the end of September, so September 28th, and we are going to use the same company we did last year, which was called SnapRaise. So the beautiful thing about SnapRaise is that if you already did it last year, you don't have to do anything, because it's already saved from last year. So all your emails and everything that you put in is good to go. If you are new, we'll go ahead and I'll give you a code so that you can go ahead and get that account created. And basically, the easiest thing about this fundraiser is that it's crowdsourcing. You don't have to do anything but pretty much share it on social media, share it with family, and the goal is to just kind of spread the word. Last year, we were out of the 19 kids that attended California, I would say 6 or 7 of them were able to fully fund their trip, which was fantastic. And we had another about 6 or 7 that got pretty close to funding it completely. So the great thing about this fundraiser is that it doesn't require you to do much. I will put up a QR code in the front in the main office so that any parents that come in can kind of feel free to donate, feel free to share. It's the easiest fundraiser that we can do because it doesn't require your time or for you to really do anything, but to just send those emails out. So we'll go ahead and get that started September 28th. I'll give you the QR code again. And then the other fundraising that we do here, like the bagels and things like that, will go towards fundraising for the meals that we covered last year when we were in California. So this is the QR code for the club/activity fee. You can always access it on the school website. If you go under the school store, you'll see there, it'll say activities. I believe it's just cheer right now and us. So you'd click on SoPrepTV. You can go ahead and click on it. That would cover the whole cost for the whole year. With that activity fee, it's going to cover all the cost of all the contests that they submit for. It will cover apparel that they will get to wear on Fridays here at school, some SoPrepTV apparel, as well as if we ever go out and film and they all want to be on the same page, wearing the same shirt, that will be the apparel that they use. The next one is for SnapRaise. If you already have an account, then all you would do is log in. Everything is set up for you. If not, you can scan here. The join code would be in the bottom. I will send this information also on Dojo so that you guys have access to it and you guys can create it. I will say that even if you are hesitant on whether or not you want them to travel to California, I highly recommend for all the kids to kind of sign up for the snap raise, because any money that is fundraised ultimately stays in the club. Equipment is expensive. We have been extremely fortunate that we have an amazing principal who has jumped in on this crazy train with us, and she has invested in amazing cameras for the kids, tripods. I mean, they have new DJI mics, which is the one we're wearing now. I mean, we have this awesome desk in the back. I mean, she really has gone above and beyond to really make the club what it is this year. But obviously, you know, kids are touching equipment and things are bound to break, get lost. So we were lucky that last year we didn't lose too many things. So we're hoping this year with our new checkout system that we don't lose anything. But like anything, we're dealing with middle schoolers, so we're going to anticipate that we might lose a thing or two along the way. We encourage you to join us as well. I am going to tell you a little bit about how we get to California. I don't have exact numbers for you yet, because that all depends on what my final count as far as how many people are interested in attending. Okay, so last year, just to give you an idea, we had 19 students that attended the trip, and we had about, I would say it was almost a 1-to-1, so about 16 parents that went. So we were almost 1-to-1 with all the kids. The kids paid $1,400 to go on the trip. So we told them through Snap Raise, obviously they do take a percentage. They take about 20%, if I'm not mistaken. So we tell them if your goal is $1,400, your goal through Snap Raise is to try and reach that $1,800 mark. Now, I did speak to Gwen. Gwen is in charge of World Strides. She is a company that basically coordinates our whole trip for us. So if anything happens, she's quick to kind of rearrange and kind of move things for us. And she did tell me that the price of the hotel that we stayed in last year for the convention did go up with our luck. So she's trying to figure out what the best deal is right now for airfare. So as soon as she gets back to me on that, I'll go ahead and be able to give you a better number as far as what to anticipate. But last year was around $1,400. I'm going to anticipate it being a little bit more. And then last year, if the parents wanted to go, it was around $2,000, I believe. It was around there. It was around $2,000. I'm anticipating it, obviously, it being a little bit more. You did have the option of rooming with another parent, so that the price obviously would be a little bit cheaper. So think about it. I know that's a lot of information to kind of take in. But those are kind of the different options right now that we have. So once we finish our Snap Raise and you have your total amount, they go ahead and send the school a check with all the money that's fundraised. Then we go ahead and send the check over to Gwen at World Strides. And then she goes ahead and she credits whatever they were able to fundraise into their account. Okay, so once we have a number, I'll go ahead and send you guys a link for you to register through World Strides. You will initially have to pay a deposit to just create the account, saying that you are committing to go. If you fundraise the full amount, that deposit that you put gets reimbursed to you as soon as they receive the check. So we're starting off our fundraising a little bit earlier this year. That way you already have an idea of what you would be responsible for to be able to attend the trip. And that way we can continue to fundraise throughout the rest of the year from now until March. The parents would need the level 2 clearance if you plan on attending with us on the trip. So if that's something that you are interested in, just send me either a dojo or an email saying, yes, I'm interested. Either way, I will post a kind of like a sign up genius saying, yes, I'm interested in attending, or no, I'm not interested in attending, just so that I have a number that I can go ahead and send to Gwen, and then she can give me a better estimate of how much it would ultimately be. I know that this is a huge commitment, not only financially, but time also. We have a lot of kids here that were with us last year that hopefully they can tell you that it was worth it, that it was worth the experience of being able to travel up there. I will say this is my 13th year teaching, and being able to experience with them that opening ceremonies and that feeling of, in every category that we submitted for last year, we were fortunate enough to place, that feeling of their hard work, just it was just unbelievable. So we're hoping to do it again, and we're hoping to bring home that first place for Crazy 8, and we're hoping that you're going to come along with us in this crazy journey. Any questions? I know it's a lot. No questions online? Do we have any questions?
Are there any questions online? Feel free to ask here.
We do have an Orlando trip. That one's in April. The hardest part about the Orlando trip is finding the transportation up there, because the bus companies are charging an insane amount. So last year, yes, we have looked at the Brightline. I don't know if it's cheaper
more expensive
at this moment. I think right now it's still a little expensive. Hopefully they'll give us a group price, and that would be fantastic, because I think the kids would love that. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But we do have an Orlando trip in April. Once we have more information as far as the pricing and things like that, I'll go ahead and send that over to you as well. You had a question? No? Oh. No, it's okay. Yes. So our first one will be tomorrow. Yep. Until 5. So starting tomorrow. So if they can't make it, that's okay. I tell all the kids, I get it. Life happens. Just communicate with me. If you can't make it, that's no problem. Just tell me, unfortunately, I can't make it. I have this. I'm going to be like, okay, great job. You were able to communicate with me. 3 to 5. Yep, 3 to 5. Yes. I believe the faculty meeting this month, Omar, if you can look behind you, what Wednesday does it land on?
Faculty meeting is the 20th.
The 20th. So that Wednesday, we wouldn't have a meeting. Yes.
Is that club a prerequisite to go on the California trip, or is that meet on Wednesdays?
Right.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, unless we have a faculty meeting. And then in which case, the goal is I'm going to send you all of our dates. That way you have it on the calendar. Whenever you don't see SoPrepTV on the calendar, that means that there's a faculty meeting scheduled for that Wednesday. And then we'll kind of go from there. We don't want it to ever interfere, because cheerleadings is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The singers are on Mondays. So in an effort for them to be able to use their time wisely, we extended it so that it'd be now from 3 to 5. Any questions? So I will share all this information with you. I will send the SnapRaise information, the link for you to go ahead and join. The cool thing about our SnapRaise is that they also created a Snap store for us. So you can go in there and you can purchase SoPrepTV apparel. And through SnapRaise, they give you incentives. So depending on how many donations you receive, you have the opportunity to earn free apparel as well. So the goal is if you get 15, is it
For
50?
every 5 donations, you get a higher tier.
So for every 5.
Up to 20. If you get all 20 donations, you get all the prizes.
Right. So after every 5, there's different categories. And then once they set up their account, they'll get to select which item they want. And it ranges from shirts, sweatpants, hats, book bags, shorts, you name it, it's on there.
Sorry, you said they take 20%?
Mhm.
So we can harass our family members to just send us the money? That's okay? We can just give it to you?
You wouldn't be giving, well, he wouldn't be giving it to me. Well, you wouldn't be giving it to me. And yeah,
It's just like,
yeah.
It is a lot, but I've been telling you, I've been doing this for
Yeah.
10 years in my school. There's no other fundraiser that's easier to collect money than this. I've been able to collect $60,000 in 28 days because of this. Before that, I was having car washes and dinner nights and all that
Yeah.
stuff, and to raise $6,000-$7,000. So yeah, it might be easier to get someone to give you the money, but to collect this much amount of money remember, because you might have family members in New York and Santo Domingo, anywhere. Now you just send them an email and they can send it to us. So
oh, I'm okay. So
Yeah.
I got
yeah,
Yeah.
this is a lot. It's a lot easier. And then and a lot of you I know got it 100% paid for last year, which was excellent. I mean, it's hustle. If you send out the emails and you call people, and I like to tell the parents that when you sign in, there's a little paper you can print out. There's a QR code. You can leave it on your office table and be like, hey, you want to donate? They just got to scan the QR code and they can donate right to your kid. It goes straight to your kid. It's so much easier. And the kids get incentives and all that stuff, which is really nice. But if,
basically just like asking for a donation, that's it.
it's
No.
crowdsourced fundraising. I know, yeah. Listen, I hate every year having to my goddaughters having to buy gift wrapping paper and pretzels that I don't ever want to use. I'd rather just give them $50 and be like, leave me alone. And this makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
And also, if you already have an account, when you sign back in, all your emails and everything that you have from last year, just populate again.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do any of the work. You just got to sign in and join the new fundraiser.
Yeah, we're trying to make the whole fundraising process just way easier and something less that you guys have to do, because we get it. Just as much as it's a lot on us, I know it's a lot on you guys as well. So this has been just the easiest fundraising. Your family members or anyone that goes to donate, they also have the options of buying that person apparel as well. I think somebody bought you apparel last year. So that's also a cool little added feature that if they want to buy them some apparel, they can. If you want to buy apparel as well, you absolutely can. Yeah.
Sorry,
Not at all.
So, is there any way that you could find a corporate sponsor that is willing to like donate the money for the kids?
Yes.
Somehow, like you mentioned them.
They can actually pay through it
Absolutely.
on the website, and they get a letter, so they can already do it tax deductible
Mhm.
right
Okay.
as soon as they donate.
You'll be able to like maybe send them a little bit or something.
Absolutely.
Like that. Okay.
Or maybe think of a morning announcement.
Exactly, or something, because we might be able to
Get
get money
more
from
recognition.
corporations.
Absolutely.
But they
If
always have money.
I don't disagree, if we can get some corporates to pay for all of it, I'm all for it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Told me what to pay, I'm sorry.
At all. You're making things a lot easier for me. I love it.
I have a question. The fall digital
Yes.
for STN, is that gonna be like a crazy 8 also? Like a crazy 8 day, or is that gonna be a week-long thing?
It won't be like Crazy 8, because Crazy 8 is an 8-hour window, and then after
like
the
challenge.
day's over,
Right.
so it's more like a challenge where they'll release a prompt, and then we might say, okay, well, we found a great story in Coconut Grove, and we were able to coordinate it. We're going to go Friday and film. But if we go to film on Friday, then that means on Saturday we need to get together to start
It's
editing
actually
it.
it starts Sunday night. It has to be turned in by Friday, so you're gonna do it during the weekday for
Right.
FSPA.
For FSPA.
For STN,
Yeah.
they're gonna release it on Wednesday and it's due on Monday. Now, the good news or bad news, depending how you see it, is that Friday there's no school,
Right.
so they have all day Friday, all day Saturday to go film. Sunday we meet at Columbus and we edit. so that we can make sure we turn everything in the day before.
So anytime there's a quick turn challenge, I don't like to procrastinate. So as soon as a prompt hits, we will try and hit the ground running. And if we can go out and start filming that same day, we will. That way, if it's released on a Wednesday and it's due on a Tuesday, by that Sunday, I'm hoping that the majority of all of our projects are pretty much done. That way, the only thing that we have left to do Monday are like little things where nobody has to feel stressed out or overwhelmed because they're in that feeling that it's not going to get done. They're running out of time. And then that way, we also don't want them coming to school and worrying about that versus a test or a class or anything like that. We got to balance everything out. Any other questions? I know it's a lot. I'll go ahead and I'll post this also on the video so you can refer back to it. I will show you on the website. If you head over to our SoPrep page, you'll see here the year at a glance is all the way at the bottom. You'll see the SoPrepTV calendar. For some reason, the link's not working, so I'm going to go back and see if I can fix that. Our Odyssey, which is our monthly show, we went ahead and we released the first episode of season 2. So hopefully you guys can go and check that out. This was our parent information session that we had towards the end of the school year. I'll go ahead and update it so that it includes this one. So our year at a glance pretty much looks like this. It's basically going to give you all of the important dates from here and towards the tail end of the year. You can always refer back to it. Most of these dates are already on the calendar. So if you subscribe to the calendar, you'll have all these dates for you, so you can kind of refer to it. But this kind of gives you an idea of what's happening throughout the whole year. And I know it looks very busy. But we're constantly producing packages. Right now, they're working on a profile piece on our new PE coach. They just finished, I think they're just tweaking sports commentary. We're working now in class on broadcast commentaries, on issues pertaining to the school. We have a kindergarten package that they're going to start working on. They have Grandparents' Day on Friday that they'll do a package on. They just did a package on the class transformations for 3rd through 5th. That was a lot on Friday. We have Picture Day next week, which they'll also do a package on that. We have Hispanic Heritage this month that they'll also do a package on that. So anytime there's something going on in the school, we try and give them as many opportunities to learn on campus, because we do get it that sometimes the off-campus things tend to be a little bit harder. But we also want to give them the exposure and the opportunities to kind of see how things work off campus as well. So we have a very busy month. So we pretty much take all of that they're producing, and not all of it will obviously fit in our monthly show, but we'll go ahead and we'll kind of pick and choose, our best packages. We'll put it together, and then that will kind of produce our monthly shows as well. And then we also have another fundraiser that we're doing this year. If you know anyone who wants to advertise and you want our amazing SoPrepTV members to create a commercial for you, you can always advertise on our morning show as well. So that's an option there too. And not because I'm their teacher/moderator, but it's pretty impressive what they can do with Canva and graphics and whatnot. So any questions? Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate your time. I will send out all this information as well as a sign up just to see how many people are interested. And then once we have a better number, I'll send you the information with that so that we can already get the ball rolling on that. Once you have committed that you are going, you'll go ahead and create your account through World Strides, and then they will be in contact with you. They'll send you reminders to make your payments directly through them. So all those payments are done directly with them, never through the school. Okay. Good. Thank you guys for coming.
If anyone needs to be added to the WhatsApp,